It is human nature to always keep a lookout for greener pasture, and I totally understand it. At some point, you might be wondering, yes, I do love Singapore, but what if I want to migrate to other country? Renouncing your Singapore citizenship is a massive leap. Carefully consider your decision, as it can be extremely difficult for you to gain back the citizenship at the country that you have renounced. Being the go-to channel for Singapore immigration matters also means covering unpopular topics such as letting go of your Singapore citizenship. For whatever reason, some of us may decide to let go or to renounce your Singapore citizenship. But before you do anything else, remember, dual citizen is not allowed in Singapore, so you must conduct a formal renunciation procedure. Later on in the video, I will also be covering why younger male Singaporeans could have a tougher time to renounce their Singapore citizenship. According to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you are eligible to renounce your Singapore citizenship if you fall under these criteria. First one, you are aged 21 years old and above. Number 2, you are of sound mind. This means that you're mentally fit to understand your choices and your action. And number 3, you have acquired citizenship of another country. To renounce the Singapore citizenship, you must first get the application of renunciation citizenship package by emailing the Singapore Embassy. You need to indicate the important details such as your full name, NRIC, contact details, and so on. Then, you will receive the application package, which includes the instruction for renunciation, form, and a list of requirements for submission. There are a few ways that you can submit your renunciation application form. The first way is in person at ICA or via Singapore Overseas Mission. Second is by post or courier to Singapore Consulate General. Make sure you address the package to the consular officer and attach the complete list of the item included in the package and note down the tracking number. Any application directed to High Commission will be forwarded to Singapore ICA for processing if overseas. You will need to make sure that you have all these documents ready. First one, fill up all the mandatory forms. Second, your valid Singapore passport. Third, your valid foreign passport. And fourth, certified true copies of the following: foreign citizenship certificates, deed poll or name change certificates, religious or baptism certificates, last but not least, marriage certificates. You will also need to provide your original Singapore NRIC and original Singapore citizenship certificate only if you are Singaporean by registration or by descent. Also, before submitting your application, do ensure that you have updated your mailing address to ICA. You will have to pay around 35 Sing dollar via money order, cheque or bank transfer. Make sure that you direct the payment to ICA Commissioner and do keep a proof of payment for future reference. If you wish to pay in person, you may visit ICA and pay accordingly. Whether if you are submitting the application directly to ICA or via Singapore Overseas Missions, ICA will take around 3 to 4 months time to process your application, and sometimes it might take even longer. In the event that you lose your documents in the mail while using courier services, the Singapore government will not be responsible for the loss. Once the Singapore government approves your renunciations, you will be receiving a letter from them stating that you're no longer a Singapore citizen. If you're still in Singapore, please note that right now you're officially a foreigner, and typically a foreigner can stay in Singapore for 30 days to 90 days. Essentially, after your renunciation, when you are a foreigner, you will need to obtain a visit pass for the next time you were to come into Singapore again. Do note that after your renunciation, there is no provision for reinstatement, which means reacquired Singapore citizenship will be impossible in the future. It is also a good habit to keep a copy of your renunciation documents in case you encounter any legal difficulties along the way. Some of your responsibility as a Singapore citizen will be affected once you have renounced your Singapore citizenship. Unfortunately, your consular officer will not have authority over some of this responsibility. Singapore government remains very particular in the following aspect. The first one is National Service or NS. All non-disabled male permanent resident and Singapore citizen may face difficulty renouncing their Singapore citizenship if they have yet to complete their national service. Only main applicant who is applying under the PTS and GIP scheme may exempted from the national service. Second, selling your HDB flat. Only a Singapore citizen is legally entitled to sell the HDB flat. So if you were to renounce your citizenship, it's best that you sell your HDB flat before doing so. Now, you may be wondering what will happen to your CPF saving if you were to renounce your Singapore citizenship. Rest assured, you will be able to apply for withdrawal of the fund when you're leaving Singapore for good. Engaging immigration consultants when renouncing a Singapore citizenship can be highly valuable because immigration consultant will have extensive experience and knowledge about immigration laws and procedures. Immigration consultant like us will be able to help you to navigate through the complex paperwork and legal requirements. We'll be able to provide support throughout the entire process and also advise you on what are the potential consequences as well. If you have any doubts and questions, you can always speak with a professional before making your final decision. Renouncing your Singapore citizenship is a serious decision and should not be taken lightly. Make sure that you weigh all the possible pros and cons before you make the decision, and that includes all the significant benefit that you're enjoying as a Singaporean. And that's all for today's episode. If you find the video useful, remember to like and share with your friends. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you will not miss out on our weekly new content. We'll see you next time. Bye!